Great to see you here. My name is Luc de Koster, founder of the Koster Academy, and in this video I'm going to talk about procurement and procurement contracting. Procurement is very important in project management, and it's typically not the strongest point of project managers. Although we use it, it's very important, but in general there is a special organization who is dealing with this and who is taking into account all these elements related to procurement. Now, what is procurement about and procurement contracting? But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. What is procurement? Procurement is basically the process of finding and agreeing on terms and acquiring goods, services, or work from an external source to have items for your project. Now, you need to buy certain things, you need to buy services, and all these things are delivered by external sources to support your project. Many of these things may come via tendering or a competitive bidding process, and we also relate here that we have to make buying decisions under conditions of scarcity. Think about make or buy. Do we make it or do we buy it? All these things relate to procurement. Now, procurement is very important in project management, but also for any other company. Now, when you buy telephone lines, when you buy equipment, all these things are done through procurement. It's part of procurement. Larger companies have typically procurement departments that manage all the aspects of procurement. Smaller companies, it may be different. There may be the financial director who is in charge of certain elements, or it can be with some other manager, or you just do it yourself. Now, when I was in AT&T, we had suppliers, but it was very important that we had a good relationship with them, that we knew what to buy. So all the contracts, all the agreements were set up in processes between AT&T and the supplier, and all that was done by a procurement manager. Now, when we look at the project manager and procurement, we see that typically the project manager will not be directly involved in the procurement processes. They will use certain elements, they will show or write down what they need, but contracting and so on will be done by the procurement manager. Contracts have legal consequences, and it may be that in most cases the legal knowledge of most project managers is not sufficient to deal with all these items. All these items have to be managed by the procurement department, which in fact has the legal support. Now, when you make some agreements with some suppliers, in smaller companies this may be acceptable, but in larger companies certainly not. What is also very important is to understand that many companies work with what we call approved supplier lists. Now, what does it mean? An approved supplier list is a list of suppliers which have been accepted by the company, which have a reputation that they are good. They have all the different possibilities to supply. They have been working with us. They went through certain procedures and so on. So basically, you can only use people on that list. When I started teaching in Czech Republic, I came on a list to teach for one large company, and then the people want to follow a course and they can select that supplier to follow a course. Otherwise, they cannot select it. You have to go through the process. Getting on that list is not always easy, and it can be very good for your reputation when you can say that you are in fact an approved supplier for a larger company. Now, when we look at procurement, we also have to look at the 3 stages of procurement, and there are basically 9 major steps and 3 stages. The first stage is sourcing, purchasing, and finally payment. When we look at sourcing stage, here we identify the needs, we create purchase requests, and we assess vendors. When we look at purchasing, we negotiate the terms, we create orders, we receive and inspect goods and services, and finally the last stage is the payment stage. So we approve the products or services that we got. So we sign off. We approve that they match with our requirements. We approve and we pay the invoice. So we see, okay, I had a course. The course was given. These are the information, or this is the information about the course. This is the reference, and you approve it, and we will pay the invoice. And of course, you have to keep the records of all the things that is happening for your project, for your company, and so on. So that was it about the first elements about procurement. What is procurement about? Anyway, before you finish, before you stop the video, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time you have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye bye.